Hey, how's it going, fight fans? Welcome to mindforcombat. If you're new to the channel, my name's Rohan, and it's my platform where I do fight sports related content. So if you're new here, why don't you help me grow my platform? All you have to do is subscribe to the channel, like the video if you like it, and maybe hit that bell icon so you get notified every time I upload a video. With that said, in this video I'll be breaking down the upcoming flyweight world championship fight between newly crowned world champion Deiveson Figueiredo and top challenger Alex Perez. Now, this fight is very important for me because for the first time in a long time, the flyweight division, which is a division that I'm a huge fan of, has some stability. Now, I miss the days of Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson dominating the division. It's kind of sad that, you know, he didn't get his trilogy fight with Henry Cejudo and the UFC traded him on, but I'm happy he's in one championship. He's doing big things in one championship, and his fight with Adriano Moraes is going to be a great fight, so I look forward to that. But with that said, I am so excited about this one and cannot wait to watch this one play out. It's obviously a very important fight in the landscape and history of the division, and it's a very exciting fight as a fan to watch and see how this one plays out. So without further ado, let's break this one down and go through the tale of the tape. Figueiredo comes into this fight at 32 years old. That makes him 4 years older than the 28-year-old Alex Perez. Both men are in the prime, both men are in the physical primes, and both men are looking to be in their stride in mixed martial arts right now. Great time for them to be meeting. Figueiredo has a record of 19 wins and 1 loss, and he fights Alex Perez, who has a record of 24 wins and 5 losses. Now, experience, yes, Perez has a little bit more of experience, but I think it's important to note that Figueiredo has been fighting higher caliber of opponents, and actually this is a good fight in terms of experience as well. So it's good time for them to meet in terms of age, and good time for them to meet in terms of experience. Great time. And in a lot of ways, this is a better fight than the Cody Garbrandt fight, because Cody Garbrandt was dropping down, having never fought at 125. Well, for the validity of this division, for a true 125er who's been established in the division and been fighting head to be getting the title fight, that means more to me than the Cody Garbrandt fight, whilst I was looking forward to the Cody Garbrandt fight, if that makes sense to you guys. Anyways, Figueiredo stands at 5'5", makes him an inch shorter than Perez, who's 5'6", and he has a 68-inch reach, which gives him a 3-inch reach advantage over the 65-inch reach of Alex Perez. So that's important to note, considering the way that Figueiredo likes to fight is on the feet and throw bombs as well. Going to be very interesting to watch this fight play out. To describe their style, now Figueiredo, I will describe him as a brawler. He likes to walk forward and swing wild bangs. In his most recent fights, he's shown us that he's got Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu skills. He's shown us that he's got improving wrestling. And he's actually shown us great kicks, and all round he's just getting better. But I would say where he shines is in his punching, and more importantly, brawling and his punching power. To describe Perez's style, I would say that he's pretty much of an all-round fighter. I think one of his most important or impressive performances, should I say, was his fight with Formiga, who's actually beaten Figueiredo, where he beat him with leg kicks, and that was actually an eye-opener for me and kind of established who he was to me to some extent. Now, let's look at some of their key wins. For Figueiredo, his key wins that stand out to me are Joseph Benavidez, not once but twice. Those are good wins. Of course, he's beaten Alexandre Pantoja, who's a top contender, and he beat former world championship contender John Moraga. For Perez, the biggest win that stands out for me is his win over Formiga, who, of course, as I just mentioned, beat Deiveson himself. So, interesting thing to think about. The issues coming into this fight for the champion, in my opinion, will be that fact that he's predictable. We know what he wants to do. We know how he wants to fight. And his striking, I find to be a bit slow and undynamic for the division. Now, it's successful and it works for him just because he's so physical and strong in the way he fights. That doesn't take away from the negative things I can say about his stand-up. For the challenger, I would say the biggest shortcoming will be that he's taking this fight on short notice, and I think that, you know, he can get hit and he can get hurt, and I feel like Figueiredo, if he connects, will, you know, not only knock him off balance, will probably end his night. So that's something for us to bear witness to. The X factor for Figueiredo on the back of that is going to, of course, be his power, and the X factor for Perez, in my opinion, is actually going to be his speed, his movement, and mostly his kicks. Very, very interesting. With that said, let's get into the prediction. Now, this is an interesting fight, and a fight that I kind of struggle to see how it plays out. I would see this as a 50-50 fight had it not been for the short notice fight, short notice element. Now, I know Perez was probably in training anyway, and I think he was going to fight on this card regardless. But I think it's important to note that he weren't training for a 5-round fight. Maybe in his mind he was, I don't know. But based on what I know, he's coming into this fight on short notice. Now, stylistically, I think he's got all the keys and attributes to be able to beat the champion. I think he's got the movement to cause him problems. I think his kicks are going to do damage, and I think he can avoid the boxing with his head movement. However, I think that the champion is a lot more physically imposing, has much better Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and is a stronger man, can push him against the cage, take him down if he wants, and his punching power is going to make the difference. I think he also has a stern enough chin to be able to take what Perez is throwing, back him up against the cage where he'll unload with a barrage of punches, drop him and finish him. Fight fans, for my official prediction, I'm thinking that that's exactly what's going to happen. I think Figueiredo's going to walk through what Perez throws. Perez is going to give him a lot of trouble with the movement and angles early, but as the fight wears on, we're going to see Figueiredo start to back him up. The more he backs him up, the worse for Perez. As he tires, he's going to get backed up more. And as the fight goes on, he's going to find himself on the cage more. And when he's on the cage, he's going to be eating big power punches from Figueiredo. The champion, in my opinion, is going to land huge bombs and then will eventually be able to get the finish based off his power and his ability to back up the challenger consistently throughout the fight. That's how I see this fight going. Anyway, guys, why don't you guys comment below? Let me know how you see this fight going. Let me know if you think the Garbrandt fight was actually a better fight than this one. And I just noticed I got through that one fast. I just can't help it. I just talk so fast. So it's just a natural thing for me. I get really excited and enthusiastic about this. I end up speaking so fast, I just can't help myself. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you're new here, remember to like, subscribe, share, all that jazz. There might be a preview of another video I've done at some point at the end of this video, so watch that preview. Hope you enjoy it, then check out the full one. Find it on my channel. Probably be a clickable link at it. My editor's G. Thank you, Habib. Thank you for watching, guys. As always, I'm Rohan, and this is Mind for Combat. Ong Lantang, let's take Ong for example first. Ong's probably the biggest star in one championship, one of my favourite fighters in the game right now, and he was coming into this fight riding a 7-fight win streak, a 2-division world champion, had just knocked out the heavyweight champion about a year ago, had superstar power over in Myanmar, Burma, Singapore. For one championship he gets paid very, very well, and he's actually still got a world championship, so it's kind of hard to write him off when he's still a world champion. But he went in there with, a bigger, younger, stronger, faster Renier Derridia, but on the feet you could see that there was a noticeable difference between them. Now Ong came into this fight having not fought since he fought Brandon Vera. Brandon Vera is a striker, so when was the last time he truly prepared for a grappler is the question that you've got to answer. Now, he trains with a lot of black belts and a lot of great fighters, that compete in the UFC, like Kamaru Usman and so on and so forth. This was a true test in the sense that it was going to test his game in a way that his game has not been tested or even checked upon for a very, very long time now. Renier Derridia is obviously a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, a very talented grappler, and he's a very big guy with a high shelf life. But is this the end of Ong? Well, no, I don't think it's the end of Ong now. Now, whilst he came into this fight Ong with a 7-fight win streak, 2 world championships, going 12-1 in his last 13, he's got 11 losses to his record. And one of the things that people often say to me when they're talking about Ong, and I'm telling you guys, no, Ong is world class. Trust me, he's world class. They say, what are you talking about? He got beaten up by Rahul. Yeah, he got beaten up by Rahul 10 years ago. 10 years ago, fighters evolved in 10 years, and this is the difference. We in the West see that someone lost one fight and then they almost written off forever. Oh no, he can't be good. He lost to so and so back then. Jorge Masvidal lost to bloody Rafael Santal. Rafael Santal was a bantamweight. Jorge Masvidal's a welterweight. So would you write off Jorge Masvidal if you weren't in the UFC? Jorge Masvidal has 13 or 14 losses now. Losses doesn't define everything, and it's like this thought process that Mayweather is embedded in people's mind over in boxing, that one loss writes you off, you got to protect your own. Not necessarily. Yes, you should try to win every fight, so you should try to go undefeated. Losing the fight doesn't matter though. It shouldn't write you off. You're still great. Your legacy is not tarnished. It's about how you rebound from that loss. I have no doubt a rematch is going to be